Welcome to another edition of Lakers Fast Break. I'm your host, Jamie Sweet. With me is Laker Tom and Michael Heinrich. And we're here to dig into where the Lakers are at. And you know what? If you had talked to me a month ago, I would have been dour. I would have been bummed out. I would have been not a happy camper. And I wasn't, because the team was playing awful.
No, it's just 15 days, man. 15 days ago, we were in we had lost 3 in a row, including 2 nail biters. And we were the 6th seed.
That's where I was at, man. It was trending south. It was trending south fast. Yeah. There were heart questions. There were effort questions. There were focus questions. I was starting to wonder if Redick had maybe lost the team. There was all that going around. You know, Mark, I was like, the dude's about to start fighting for his job. He's going to have a worse record than he had last season with better players.
And all of a sudden, every problem turned around except for Jake's shooting. Course.
Well, we're going to give Jake Laravia a little bit of a pass today. He's playing with a lot of heart. He's playing with a lot of hustle. He's playing with energy. He's making plays on defense. The shot will come around. The shot's got to come around. It's all in his head.
He still hits his free throws beautifully.
He hits his free throws. The shot will come around. He just needs to, stop hanging out with Dalton Connect.
Yeah, right.
Stop hanging out with Dalton Connect.
Yeah, well, I'd move his line. I better check. If I was a coach, I'd check the locker assignments.
Yeah, who's right? Exactly. Who are you hanging out with? That's bringing.
They've been sending Dalton down to the G League just off of the bench, man.
I feel for Dalton. He's had a rough start to his NBA career. I'm sure it's not how he envisioned it going. But you know what? Adversity forges. That's how steel is forged through adversity. So. You just gotta grind, man. You just gotta grind. All right, let's talk about what's working right now for the Lakers. There's a few things I want to touch on. We'll see what we get around to. Luka Doncic is playing out of his mind. He's cut down on his turnovers. Tom and I were talking about this a little bit.
Playing better defense, man.
If he played like this all season long, he'd be in the MVP conversation. I think it's a little late to turn it on.
Depends what the Lakers do. Because he hasn't gotten a lot of push because of how the Lakers have performed.
I still don't see
a 500 team.
Yeah, I know, but it's just the volume, the bot. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of wide open still. My pick would still probably be SGA because he's the best player on the best team. But by the same token, that guy gets a lot of help.
You get a lot of SGA fatigue too because of the push-off jumpers.
Well, they won a lot of games without him,
and they won a lot of games. That's the other thing I was going to say is that they've proven that
Luka's the only MVP competitor whose on-off numbers basically favor him defensively.
Well, here's the other thing to watch for Luka. Here's the other thing to watch with the MVP. SGA can only miss 1 or 2 more games and he's ineligible. Same goes for the Joker.
Yep.
And even Wemby missed another game. He's getting close to the cutoff point as well.
Jaylen Brown's going to win by default.
No, I think Luka's ahead of Jaylen Brown.
That's going to be the race, though, right? Nobody wants to hear that as a Laker fan, especially me, especially how we lost to the freaking Celtics the other day. But, I would love it if Luka edged. I would love it if Luka edged Jaylen Brown for the MVP. That would make me very happy this season. And I think Luka would.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with this. This is the 65-game rule.
I know. We'll see. I mean, it's still there's 16 games for us.
The top 10 people, pretty much the way the season is going. If the trend for injuries continues like it is, man,
nobody will be available.
805
Jake will win it.
805.
There's a guy in Miami who's probably a candidate right now.
No, he's not.
One game does not make
one game. 83.
No. You know what? Okay, let's talk about this.
Ignited the Heat are playing really well.
No, let's get Bam out of the way. Because this pisses me off.
Well, let's flush him right now.
No.
You don't free throws. Come on.
There's 2 things you don't do after that game.
Disrespected the game.
You disrespected the game in the game, and then you don't bring up the guy you just passed who took himself out of the game with 2 minutes to go when he had scored 81 points to not stat pad. He took himself out of a game that he'd outscored Dallas by himself in the third quarter to not stat pad. You don't get to compare yourself to Kobe Bryant when you do that stuff. You do not get to do that, Bam Adebayo.
Right.
Your game is unwatchable.
I've always wanted him, but I've taken him off.
It's never going to be an NBA rewind.
Kobe,
that 83-point game again. Nobody.
Kobe needed to score those 81 points for them to win.
The game was not decided. When it was, he took himself out.
Yeah. Once they had it in hand, he bowed out.
He could have gone. He could have gone for 90.
The difference between the coaches and their response.
Bill
wanted to pull Kobe out of that game earlier.
I've been a big fan of heat culture.
You bet or not, he's gonna get 80. He's gonna break a record.
I've been a big fan of heat culture over the years.
Bro is just saying this. I'll do it again for this guy.
Yeah.
For him. We'll foul guys to cut down the time on defense and so you
know. Phil asked after the Dallas, 3 quarters in Dallas, 6 Phil asked him, "Do you want to go back in?" And Kobe said, "No, I'll do it. I'll do it again some other time."
Had a lot of respect for Kobe.
Yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, we're all not big fans of what. Records are meant to be broken. Records are meant to be broken. And if Bam had done it
the right way,
if it had just been a normal basketball game where it was, oh man, this is getting close, and Bam's getting close to 83 points, and that's organic. That's how it's meant to happen. This gaming of the system was just pathetic to see. And you know what I hate about it is that now somebody scores 40 in the first half. You're going to see teams start to oh, now we got to get so-and-so the best ramp up to see. You're going to see this happen more.
Maybe the backlash that
there's not enough backlash
has received. I think
there's not enough backlash. The only way there's enough backlash is if everybody at Staples or Crypto.com throws some kind of pad onto the court when Bam shows up for staff padding, because he's the big pad now, people. 83 cheap.
Maxi pads. That's what I'm saying, man. That's the only way the backlash changes that narrative. And I would happily do that, and I'd lose my seat that day. All right. Well, enough about that cheap son bitch.
The worst thing about that too is I had to listen to that on every single radio show and every single report.
Oh yeah,
they totally ignored the Lakers' great victory.
Yeah, exactly. It was the worst. It was the worst. It's the most ungratifying record you'll ever see somebody break. That's how I'll leave it right there. All right. So look, like I said, Luke is playing out his mind.
Enough for heat culture.
Yeah, that's heat culture failed. Right there. That's a big failure for heat culture. And I never want to hear Spo ever again say, "Well, I really don't appreciate the free throw disparity in this game." No, you lost that one, bro. That card is gone from your deck. That card has been removed from your deck. You don't get to deal that card anymore. You don't get to talk about free throw disparity. You don't get to get mad at people who score on you in the last 30 seconds of a game. That's done. You're done now with that, Spoelstra. And that's unfortunate because I respected both Bam and Spo right up until that moment. And now I think they're both kind of cheap and cheesy. And that's not going to change anytime soon. So that's me. Anyway, Luke is playing great.
Yeah. Well, Austin is back to it.
Kinda. He's back in the second half. They posted. Did anybody see the stat they posted in the game against the Bulls? Reeves is shooting 58% in the second half of games.
Yeah.
58% in the.
That was a great second half. I mean, after 2
and he had a great second half.
Whoa, man. But the thing is about it is that when you look at this roster from every player down, from top to bottom, in just 15 days, JJ Redick has done a marvelous job of getting everybody on the same page. Yeah. And then we have DeAndre Ayton coming along and saying that, he's just catching up with the team. And you can understand where he really is saying it. Everybody else in the team has been gung-ho, and he's finally admitted that, hey, the problem maybe wasn't everybody else. Maybe the problem is me.
I think there were several problems.
Whether that'll be a permanent change is something to discuss. But doing that, I'm sure he talked to LeBron about this second option, third option type thing.
Sure.
LeBron played actually a perfect game to complement everybody on the team. And the big three numbers have flipped completely around from what they were on the end of February. We were down 12 a game, and now we're up 15 a game. It's just marvelous.
Michael, what are your thoughts on how Redick has gotten the team to buy into just the effort and the hustle?
Yeah, well, here's the thing that I noticed. This is, the result. We're seeing the results now, but
it started about the 1st of February. That's when our defense started to pick up.
Right.
And we continued, win or lose, our defense was getting a little better each game. We're up to now, I look at it, I don't care about any of the analytic stuff. The only thing I care about is how many points are you giving up. You could be 30th in defensive rating, but how many points are you giving up? And the Lakers right now are 14, tied with Minnesota at 14th in the league in points given up, and we're continuing to trend up in that. So and that started around the 1st of February when you look at you just go down throw out the Spurs game when all 5 starters sat.
Right.
Yesterday the Bulls game was the last time we gave up a bunch of points, and it was just because we were playing down to I was a little disappointed we played down to our competition in that one, but
sure.
They were scoring so comfortably that it was,
I mean, that's a problem in the playoffs, and that's something that we'll see how that is addressed as we go along.
To answer your question, I really think that it's been trending in the right direction, and now I've heard on the spectrum, you hear Robert Ory and Big Shot James. I mean, Big Game James talking, and they're both talking about momentum going into the playoffs now, and we're getting that.
I would agree.
We have to win the next 3 games, man.
Yeah.
So everything we've gained in the last 14 days will be lost if we don't win the next 3 games. That's how tough this goddamn schedule is.
Something that's interesting. There's only one team that is vying. I forgot which one it is, but of all the teams vying for those 3 through 6, there's 5 teams, basically vying for that.
You want me to tell you who they are? It's Houston, us, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Suns. Yeah. You could say the Clippers have an outside shot, but I don't think so.
My point is that there's only one team with a harder schedule easier schedule than us.
Right.
We have the second easy. We look at our schedule and say, our schedule's terrible. It's going to be hard. We got the second easiest schedule of the contenders for those spots.
But tonight we play.
If we win the next 3, we get a tiebreaker on both of those teams.
Tonight we play the Nuggets, and then we have the weirdest back-to-back ever where we go to Houston, stay in Houston, play Houston again.
Houston's being exposed.
Well, I mean, you have to. I mean,
I can't believe the game they get. And
Yeah, New Orleans turned the ball over twice last night.
You can't not have a point guard.
Did you see the end of that game?
Well, here's their offense is boiled down to Kevin help us.
Ball.
Not Kevin help us. Kevin help us.
Or
Kevin
the other team throwing the ball away on an inbounds pass.
So it's like they're last in assists. The ball's not moving, and teams in the NBA. Teams in the NBA adjust, and they're beginning to adjust to Houston's.
I'm less worried about Houston than I'm more worried about the game tonight. Is the game where they have to win?
I'm toying with the idea of going to the game tonight. I'm like 50-50 right now. I'm like, oh man.
I actually thought about it earlier in the week. I was looking at the prices of the tickets, but the problem is I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a ticket, man.
No, you can get in for $256 and be like in the second.
Yeah,
stage.
I know, but then you're watching this. You're watching the big screen rather than the game, man.
It's still pretty.
I bought cheap seats before. I know what happens when you get up there too far. You're always watching TV, man. You're paying to sit in a goddamn uncomfortable seat and watch a big television that's further away than your big screen is at home.
And as is the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
With no ability to pause the action.
There's no pause.
There's no pause.
Like watching a game on Prime, I can't even. My wife says, "Hey, the dog needs to go out," and I'm sitting there. Hey, honey, the game is on Prime. I can't go out now. Wait till halftime. I gotta wait till halftime, man.
YYC says Rob was right to let Dorian Finney-Smith go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's having a hard time on this Houston team. We didn't let him go. He just didn't want to sign for what we offered him, and I don't know that he made much more as a Rocket. I don't remember how much he's making right now, but that's an interesting point because he's a guy that needs a point guard. He's not an offensive creator. He's a guy that needs a Luka. He needs somebody who's going to generate his field goal attempts to be effective. And so to say that Dorian Finney-Smith is the problem, I think, is to ignore the bigger issue with Houston, which is they chose to play an entire season without a starting point guard. That's not anybody on the team's fault except the general managers. You know? That's the general manager's fault. They didn't address it at the trade deadline. They didn't try to do anything.
We signed 3 rotation players with his money.
Exactly. We had to break his money up into
it's
3.
Kind of interesting. It's one of the other things that's changed is 15 days ago, all of the talk was about how, and this team doesn't care because everybody's on a contract. They're worried about the jobs. Nobody's, there's only 2 guys that are going to be going forward with the team. And we're losing, and that's the worst combination that you can have.
That's why the idea that he had lost the locker room crept into my head a little bit, Tom.
But fast forward 15 days, there's a whole bunch of guys that have got a chance to get a spot on this team next year.
Yeah.
When you look at this lineup now, we're probably only 2 or 3 players away from being a true legitimate championship contender.
Really depends on Ayton.
We could surprise the hell out of some people this year.
Really depends on Ayton. I think Ayton is the big key. Tom, I mean, I know you're not a huge DeAndre Ayton fan, so I'm curious to see how you
I've given up on the guy so many times, Jamie, but I swear to God, he is a difference maker because there are teams that we're not going to beat. They're not going to beat unless we have him at his best.
Or
when he's engaged, he's been good. I mean,
I'm going to say if he bookends his seasons with the way he started the season, great.
Yeah.
Then he tailed off, and then he tailed off in the middle of the season.
There's a chance that. Also, too, I think one of the things that has been a big change is that everybody's in the offense now. All of these assists, and those are the first demands that JJ made to everybody after that 3-game losing streak. We got to share the ball, and we got to take care of the ball. And I've never seen it before. I've never seen a team do it. Flip it around like that. All of a sudden, we're instead of 23 assists a game, we're averaging 30 assists a game. Instead of being a bottom 10 3-point shooting team, we're a top 5 3-point shooting team. And every game, we're up near 30 or up near 40 shots.
Well, Lucas turned it around. Lucas shooting.
We're making 15 and a half shots a game.
Luka's making 41% of his threes right now since the All-Star break.
You got 6 guys that are shooting a good percentage of threes.
Yeah.
All making more. There's 6 guys that have 2 threes made per game.
Yep.
That's the reason where all of a sudden we flipped that whole thing where we used to be 5 points down every game in our 3-point differential. Not on top of that, we've had good luck from the shooters. The teams have not been shooting well with us, but we've also improved our defense. And this zone is, what I love is seeing the guys come down and have to throw up one pass to the middle or throw a pass somewhere to figure out, are they playing zone or are they playing man for man? I mean, that immediately changes your whole.
With the way we switch everything, it's hard to tell which.
That's one of the good things about the confusion.
That brings me to my next point. We are not switching everything anymore. Not the entire game. We are now deploying an excellent zone defense that is really turned the personality and the defensive characteristics that make this team bad into positives. Because what I felt like especially about a month ago, when it was just like switch everything. And it just wasn't, it was relentless.
Switch everything until you find our weakest defender.
Right. And that's what was happening. You were watching like Vando guard the center in the corner while Reeves is guarding Embiid in the middle. And you're like, what is happening here?
That's why they're playing Reeves and Luke together.
And you know what? You'll see that happening. I forget who Kennard got switched onto the center like 2 or 3 times in the Bulls game. And again, I was just like, why are we doing this? This is just, there he is.
What has made the zone defense work with us has been the way that he's using Jackson Hayes in the middle.
Yeah.
And Bando has been terrific on that.
In his 10 to 15 minutes a game, he's been wonderful. And I don't know that he needs much more than that, especially in the playoffs, but that's fine.
And we finally gotten to a point where we're most of the time we're doing the right bit of helping because we've always been a terrible over-helping team.
Yeah.
Where you leave guys in the corner all alone and so forth, but now we've been able to stop people from penetrating. That's one of the reasons of the big success of the zone is they can't get to the rim.
So
we can expose our rim protection.
I think those are all valid points. I'd like to add this to the point that one of the things that makes this possible is that we've kept the team together, that it's the same guys. It's a lot of the same guys from last season even. There is a level of comfortability, trust, and chemistry that I think is starting to be, and I think that that's kind of what Ayton means as much as anything when he says, I'm catching up to the rest of the guys. I don't think he just means like, what play are we running? Although I also think it's what play we're running. But because I don't think DeAndre Ayton's a rocket scientist. I don't think I'm alone in that thought process.
But everybody else is hustling so much.
And he wasn't making up. He wasn't making up his lack of knowledge. But what I really want to do right now is welcome Sean Grice to the show. Sean, how you doing today? You look like you're chilling.
I'm in my office. Yeah, I'm in the car right now.
You're cold chilling right now with those glasses and.
It's a beautiful day here. We haven't had many of those during the winter, Jamie.
I don't doubt it. Well, you and Michael are pulling an opposite day here. Michael's got raging storms. You've got sunny skies. We're in California here. It's like 79, 78. I don't know. It's fine.
70.
Yeah, it's only 78, 79. Yeah, here it's like, a good day is like 13 degrees.
Good days. So it's still snowing is what you're saying. It's just sunny and snowing.
It has stopped snowing.
Great.
But thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me on. It's always a ball. By the way,
what's up, Kurt?
2 weeks ago, the Holics had probably an hour-long conversation of the best basketball back and forth I've heard on any podcast for the past 6 months. So kudos to the Holics because that was a good chopping it up.
Hey, you know what? Since then, the team turned it around. So they must have watched the show. They must have. They must have been.
Hasn't this turnaround been miraculous? Because every time somebody questions me about the sustainability of it, you can look back at the last 8 games, and the numbers are so dramatic. Every number has switched completely around, and they're consistent now. Every game we're low turnovers. Every game 30 assists. Every game we're 15 threes made. I mean,
you know what? He's gonna like it too. No, sorry. Kurt made a eugenics joke, and we just lost Michael. Like he said he'd be in and out because of weather and stuff. So I'm sure we'll get Michael back. Everybody, he just had to pop off because he's in the middle of a storm, and it sounds like he's getting a lot of calls. So I'm sure everything's okay. I just got to say this, Kurt, with the joke of the day. With it looks like. Hold on, let me put it back up there. It looks like the other guys are trying to convince Sean to try eugenics. Oh man. And all I can think of is when Frank Thomas looks over and goes, and you know what? She'll like it too. And I'm just like, damn.
Well, as opposed to the minority, Gerald included there, I actually think I agree with Tom. I had no expectations for JJ when he first got hired. I mean, first of all, let's look at the overlapping with this team, gentlemen. You brought in Frank Vogel, right? Uh-huh. And you built a team for him. Then you fired Frank and you hired Darvin Ham, but you basically had Darvin Ham coaching Frank Vogel's team.
It was pretty much
the only guy. Yeah. The only guy you really brought in was Rui for Darvin. Yeah. And by the way, the first game, Darvin decided to sit him. Yeah. So, and now you have a different overlap with JJ, who's coaching. Basically only Reeves and LeBron are left from the Vogel era, but he's coaching not his team.
I've made that point several times over the course of the year. You don't hire a coach. If you hire a coach with a specific set of philosophies, you don't leave the players from the old philosophical era on the roster and be like, well, they'll be great. And that's basically what the Lakers have done.
But the Lakers don't follow the 1, 2, 3 like the Celtics do.
No.
Hey, let's decide what kind of team we want. Okay, let's get a bunch of players to do that.
And there is a lack of resources to work with.
It is, and I think that the fact that we actually are building a straight proper front office, and now they're going to be able to have a meeting with JJ before free agency and say, so which guys are best suited to fit your style of play? And it's going to be a different conversation this time around than it has been with Rob and, talking to JJ about, salary constraints and can't afford this, we can't afford that. This new owner has open pockets, and if JJ really wants a guy, then I think the front office will go out and try and get him.
Yeah. Just everyone. Michael's fine. His power went out. He's rebooting his Wi-Fi. So if you're worried about Michael Heinrich, he's alive in Hawaii and doing well.
They have a volcano erupting there also too.
Yeah, no, it's we could call it the end times, but that would mean you'd have to believe in the Bible. And
I mean, at this point in time, the Lakers know organizationally what they need moving forward. You've had Luka in 2 cycles now. Yeah. With free agency and the trade deadline, you know exactly what type of team we need to build around him.
Yeah. And Reeves. You build a similar team around Reeves, if one's being honest. They both love a lob. They love a lob threat, and they love to kick it out to shooters when they drive and get in trouble in the paint. Like they both play the same style of game. Luka's a slow-paced version of that, a slow power play version of that. Reeves is a little more nimble, zip and cut. But they both get the job done by shot creation, by getting into the paint and causing the defense to collapse. It's not like we're running great plays here and they're making a great play, off of a lot of great pocket passes off the screens and stuff. LeBron's still good at that. You'll see LeBron come off the screen and jump a little pocket pass to either a guy, for a mid-range like Rui or a play in the paint with Ayton or anybody. But Reeves and Luka's offensive attack really mirrors one another, except in terms of the style in which they deploy it. One is fast and one is slow. One is speedy, one is powerful. But they both have almost unlimited range from 3. And when they get hot, it's hard to stop them. And we've seen, I don't know if you've seen the stats, Sean, we were talking about this. I'm curious your thoughts on it. And we didn't hear, Tom, your thoughts on it. Reeves is shooting 58% in the second half from the field. That's ridiculous. To come out of the locker room and be like, I'm taking
he's to adjust more than anybody else on the team, and you have to give a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
And then listen, it'll be interesting to see what some of the moves. Redick has made so many great moves to change the character and pull this team together so that they're all fighting in the same direction, but getting and it's his relationship that he's developed with LeBron, for example, that makes it very easy for LeBron to just totally say that I expect if it was necessary, LeBron would even come off the bench in order to help this team. I have no doubt about he's interested in winning. He's interested in winning, and
that I agree with. To a point. To a point, yes. To a point, I agree with that.
There's no doubt that JJ has asked LeBron to be the third option when the 3 of them on the court together.
I think that's true.
A big part of the solution to the big 3.
And JJ mentioned this, and then Sean, I want to hear your thoughts on this. JJ, because I want to say I wanted to bring up LeBron on his own point, so let's just talk about LeBron. LeBron saying what he said the other day after the win was one of the best things I've heard come out of that locker room all year long, and it was so nice to hear because it's one of the things that I'm sure that it's been said in the locker room already, right? Like amongst the players, there's not this I don't know where I fall in the pecking order, that the media likes to blah, blah. They know. Luka, Reeves, LeBron, some permutation of that depending who's hot. But Redick came out and said it that's the pecking order, and I don't know that it's been any different in any big 3. I thought him saying that made a lot of sense, and I was glad that he framed it that way. But also when LeBron came out and said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for this team to win as long as we're winning. And that's the key. Everybody is willing to sacrifice something if it results in a win. As soon as it's not.
Yeah, but it's the coach. The coach who's got to sell everybody. It's the coach who's got to sell everybody that if we do this, if we understand
I think
our special benefit, our special power is to play hard on defense. And that's
but I also want to say, and then I want to hear Sean's thoughts on this. I also want to say that it when it comes to LeBron, no coach is selling LeBron on anything. LeBron is deciding this. Let's just be honest here. This is LeBron James taking a backseat is because LeBron James is allowing it to happen, and that's big of LeBron James. And I just want to recognize it. Sean, your thoughts
on coaches would not even have addressed the issue. They wouldn't have.
Well, yeah, I think it's obviously. For LeBron, anyway, surprisingly, I'm a little surprised that he's had a come to Jesus moment. that he is the second slowest player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. But yeah, so I think he's just come to terms with old man River, and he understands the best opportunity the Lakers have to win is if he is the third cog. He's not the fifth leg on a wheel. So
he contributes like he did in that game.
Absolutely.
That was just
it's I really hope that our contingent at the LFB and most Laker fans understand this takeaway. Luka and LeBron and AR do have their flaws when it comes to defensive basketball. However, it is microscopically blown out of proportion when you have the somewhat of the imbalance we do, and people try and make mountains out of molehill with this, and all it's going to take is just a little trimming on the perimeter, because we're on pace to win 51 games. I mean, we won 50 last year.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead, Gene.
No, you're right. That's what I was going to say. That's a 1-game improvement over last year. Go ahead.
It's a 1-game improvement.
You're a 500 team.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you just add a little bit more talent to this crew, who knows what
they like they're playing right now,
or a little bit more injury luck, right? We've had terrible injury luck all season long. If you have a little bit better injury luck, you could make the same argument that's basically like a pruning.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping
that's what they'll say something after the championship. That what won it for us was all three of our big stars got a big load of time off because they were injured.
I mean, I see Luka as I'm going to be honest. He is one of the best help defenders in the NBA with his length. When he's laterally rotating, absolutely, Jamie doesn't have to go over or under screens. Yes. Plus, he can actually put a body on somebody. And he's learning how to put a body on somebody without fouling.
Absorb a contact and still make a play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened in Dallas with Rick Carlisle and Bob and what advice he was getting defensively, but he's very disciplined now with not picking up those stupid fouls, and I want to give Luka his kudos because he's improved. He's improved defensively.
I think a few things happen with Luka. I think there's a few. So I think with the entire NBA, but specifically this Laker team, because it's veteran heavy, there's a lot of guys who are like looking at the summer because that's when they, if you don't have guaranteed money coming down the pike, you as a human being, I don't care how professional you are, how much you love the game,
where you're going to live.
You don't know, right? You don't know if you're going to live in the same. That weighs. It has a weight. It has a true psychic weight that follows you and weighs you down. So I think that from January,
and if you're losing, it's awfully hard.
Yeah, from December to like the beginning of February, middle of February, somewhere in there. I think that was the dominating, pervasive force that was weighing the Lakers down. Was all of these questions, all the injuries. Where do I fit? How do I fit? If I don't fit, am I going to get paid next summer? If I don't get paid next summer, am I going to be playing in Turkey? If I'm playing in Turkey, what am I going to eat? What if I'm not eating? Do you know what I mean? Like it starts to like.
Yeah, it's almost it's weird. That's a great point, Jamie. I never really thought about it in those layered terms, but yeah, it's almost as if you're coming on to the Lakers and it's Luka and AR and everything flows through them.
They're going to eat.
And if you have an issue with that, then you're going to end up playing like a merc. And if you play like a merc and you don't know how to play that game, you are not going to get another contract.
Not everybody can be Lou Williams.
Yeah, it's just it's different, right? It's different. But we need. I'm just gonna say this. I don't care what Gerald or other Laker fans say. You traded for Luke Kennard. You're going to need a Luke Kennard down the road with Luka and AR in the fold. So you just better sign him. Just re-sign him.
No, you have
got to keep him.
Kennard.
Yeah.
You have to keep him. You're going
to
need him.
Don't let Hachimura go either. You get him for a good contract.
No, you need the release now.
Those two lasers are what we've needed so badly.
I don't know that we paid Rui 18 mil, but I'd pay Rui 12 to 15.
Yes, If you're willing to take a pay cut, you could come here, but come back.
If we could fit Kennard and Rui into a $20 million chunk of cap space, I'm down with that. However, that needs to break up to make that happen. Real quick, I don't want to.
They've seen enough to know already how life can be for an ex-Laker.
I was wondering, Sean, who was maybe possibly not high on Luke Kennard, and I guess I figured it out with Gerald's. We'll see how he looks in the playoffs, Sean.
Well, I mean, a previous iteration of this front office decided that it was in the best. Another iteration of this front office decided it was in their best interest to trade Lou Williams. Oh, and by the way, a year later, you acquired Anthony Davis. And who did you need on that club to come off the bench and score for you? A Lou Williams. And he was nowhere to be found. So you're going to need a Luke Kennard.
Yeah, no. Kurt Affairs changed it. He's the Nard Dog from now on. Nard Dog.
Well, who do you guys think we should bring back? There's a good interesting question.
Well, let's hold on. Wait.
Go down the lineup. Go to the lineup player by player.
You're putting the cart way before the horse.
Let's put the cart because these guys have been sure gone from the team at a point.
Is Jake LaRavia coming back for the same money, or will he want to raise?
I mean,
he's under contract.
I would like back. You got to have.
I think he's got a player option for that second year.
Marcus Smart is the most important cog to bring back.
I don't think so. I'll double check right now.
Luke Kennard, you have to have him back.
Jake,
you have to have him back.
Jackson Hayes, you have to have back.
Agreed.
Rui Hachimura, I think you got to have him back unless he's just too expensive. But you need a shooter like it. His shooting is extremely valuable in this team. And coming off the bench, he's going to get a lot more threes coming off the bench.
You need multiple shooters on the floor with Luka and AR, and you need them to defend. Rui can do both.
Yep.
Smart and player options. Smart and Ayton have player options. Jake LaRavia signed he signed a 2-year deal, $6 million a year. He's an unrestricted free agent after next season.
So you got a lot of guys coming back, so we'll have good continuity.
So if you have, I feel pretty good if you bring back Kennard and you have LaRavia and Rui off the bench, there you go. That's a pretty good bench right there.
Vanda's under contract for 2 more seasons after
Kennard off of the bench, though. But if here's the thing, when I look at the top 10 rotation, you look at the 5 starters and the 5 backups underneath them, and if you imagine that you could replace Marcus Smart with a wing that was really good, so Smart could go back off the bench because he'd be perfect coming off the bench.
Yep.
And then you have two guys, Smart and Kennard as your bench offense and defense.
And Rui.
Yeah, and you got Rui Rui is going to get twice as many threes coming off the bench.
He's so much better off the bench. Same with LaRavia. That is the problem. I would say this team truly lacks a dynamic starting small forward at this point. Yeah.
And a starting center that's stretch the floor.
I don't care about the floor stretching. I just care about the defense and the ability to.
You got to have a rim protector as a primary.
You got to have a rim protector. You got to have a rim protector.
Could be the backup, but Jackson Hayes is probably a better backup.
I think we needed. I'd have to look at who's going to be available. I would make a trade for Nick Claxton. It's one of the reasons I'm not huge on Walker Kessler is because he's a great rim protector.
Mitchell Robinson.
There's a few names out there that I
like the idea of if you can't get a Jokic or a guy who can stretch the floor and protect the rim, then you got to get a rotation of guys who can do all of those things. So you get a Mitchell Robinson, you get a Robert Williams.
I love Mitchell Robinson.
You get guys that maybe 3 centers that can play 18 minutes each, but nobody's going to be a 30-minute guy.
YYC, I'll be very surprised if the Lakers pick up the team option they have on Dalton Connect this next summer. I don't think
they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that. They need that money.
Unless they were so hard up that they left so many expiring contracts ago that they didn't have money.
You can imagine a sign and trade scenario possibly. All right, let's talk about the game tonight. What do the Lakers got to do to beat the Nuggets at home?
Shot creation.
They got to hit
shot creation. If we can create more possessions and more opportunities, we'll beat Denver. I felt pretty good going into the fourth quarter. It's not called the Pepsi Center anymore. I forget what Vagisil or Coca-Cola Arena or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, See, the interesting thing to me is we all know everybody's flaws at this point. And I got to be honest, if we play Denver or Minnesota or Houston in the first round, I'm not really sweating because all three of those teams have problems with shot creation outside of their main cog. Minnesota really doesn't have a point guard. They're relying on Anthony Edwards to create a lot of secondary scoring. And the problem, gentlemen, is that although he's got all the talent in the world, Jamie, Tom, this guy thinks he can bulldoze his way through double teams rather than making the correct play, which is passing the ball out.
No,
but he thinks
we
he's
kept him on the perimeter the entire game.
Absolutely.
He could not drive into the crowd.
And you guys brought up the salient point that Houston does not have a point guard, and they're going to have real problems in the playoffs.
In 7-game series. Yeah, they're not going to be.
And now Denver. I thought it was interesting, gentlemen, that last week
scares me most of those three teams because I'm not afraid of Houston or Minnesota, but Denver. Denver's they have something. They have a JoJo on us that we have to get.
I thought it was interesting, Tom, that they I think they're getting a little worried about their secondary shot creation when the Joker is off the floor because they signed Tyus Jones. Now, I love Tyus Jones, but he was out of the NBA for a reason. And what
exactly is the problem with Tyus Jones?
I think he's just too small, Tom.
He's not a great scorer, and he's small.
His assist ratio though is so good.
He's a great.
He is. So Denver's definitely got problems creating with Jokic off the floor. I think if
their two guys have been playing real well.
I really hope that when Joker goes to the floor, LeBron follows him because I think you need to stagger Joker's minutes off the floor with having somebody like Austin or Luka out there all times because we are going to be able.
DeAndre played against Joker?
Not good.
Not good.
That'll be interesting to see because
you got to go small.
LeBron is going to play a lot more center, I think, the rest of the way.
You got to go small because the way he manipulates the defense, he takes advantage of somebody at his speed or even a little bit faster. He's too good. He's too good at either separating and getting a shot off.
Please God, anyone else?
They're going to
anyone else besides Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
Please, oh my! Can we live in a world where Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't kill us?
No, not until he retires
from 3.
He's going to play until he's 60. He's just going to.
Oh my God!
He's just going to make money beating the Lakers. All right, let's see what else we got. It's 11:45. We lost Michael. We've got. It's just for some reason it keeps making me rejoin I don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter. It's not breaking, so I don't care. It does this weird thing where like another version of me says I joined, but maybe it's Gerald. Maybe it's Gerald in the background doing weird things. Is it you, Gerald? Are you there in the background? I'll bet it is.
I honestly think we should play small tonight. I think Rui and LeBron at the 5 with Ayton.
You'll start the third quarter with Ayton.
I'm hoping that Ayton comes back and plays the same type of angry game that he's played the last couple of games.
I think he has the potential to be better than Jokic.
I mean, this is the biggest game of the year.
Denver has obviously missed
this tiebreaker as well as
the biggest remaining game of the year. Yes,
Denver has missed Michael Porter Jr. more than they want to let on.
They definitely. Yes.
Yeah, I thought Cam Johnson.
Aaron Gordon is a shadow of himself.
Gordon is still not back 100%.
He's not.
He's not. I think he's dealing with a lot of back problems at this point.
Calf and leg and hamstring problems. He's really the lower half of his body is not responding well to the season. It feels like.
This is when you need Lou Dort on your team.
Hold on.
And yeah,
he's alive.
Yeah, little power outage. Little power outage.
Sorry, man. Well, real quick, let's get your thoughts on the game tonight, Michael, since that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. What has been said so far?
We're probably our best chance is probably to go small for the most part.
We're going to take the ball out of Joker's hands again because he's 9 turnovers last game.
This could be a good game for Rui if we're going to go small. He just seems to give Joker problems because he can't move him. like you can other guys. Rui's just a really super strong guy.
Same with LeBron.
Yeah, and LeBron, both of them can, so yeah, it was kind of funny, going back to the Grizzlies game, Ayton just completely outmuscled and outplayed Gobert. Yeah. So he could do it too, a little bit against Joker, because he's not a small man. He's not like,
So who gets the game balls? 2 players that you think are going to get the game balls for tonight, or 3 players? 3 players that you think should deserve a game ball tonight if we win.
Well, first of all, it's going to be
Luka,
Marcus Smart, if he can contain somewhat Murray. I mean, make it tough on Murray, because Murray's a Laker killer, man. He's a murderer.
I'm more worried about him than I am about Joker.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last game,
man, he not only plays better against the Lakers than he does any other team.
Tom,
he does it in the playoffs.
I just have to say, I think he's the best player in NBA history to not make an All-Star team.
Well, he made one this year.
Oh, well.
He finally made one this year, and it was well deserved. But yeah, he had up until this year, that was true. Up until this year, that was true. But don't feel bad. I didn't pay barely any attention to the All-Star game either.
Then that title still belongs to Jason Williams.
That's right. All right, real quick, last thing. We all got to dump on Bam Adebayo and Eric Spoelstra earlier. So, Sean, is there anything you want to say about that? That shall we say blemish on the history of the game?
Oh, you know what, Jamie, it is a blip, but I have to go to the other side here. I respect the history of this game, and Bam didn't break any records. The record belongs to Wilt.
That's true.
So I'm not sure what everybody was celebrating exactly. It's a hell of an accomplishment. That's a hell of a feat. 83 points in a game. He'll be able to tell his children and his grandchildren that I scored 83 points in a game. I'm wedged between Kobe Bean Bryant and Wilt Chamberlain, who happen to be 2 of the gods of NBA. So that's a feather in your cap. But Jamie, I'm going off of Brian Keefe, the Washington Wizards head coach. How pathetic was that? 30 points in a quarter is one thing if you're Bam. But did you see their starting lineup? You had Davion Mitchell, 2 guys from the G League, and you had a rookie point guard.
It was an exhibition.
It was an exhibition, and you had to have triple team on Bam Adebayo to get the ball out of his hands. I mean, you are teaching these young men how to play the game of basketball, or you're supposed to. That's part of your job of coaching young men and leading them onto the floor so they don't embarrass themselves like they did last night. Personally, Jamie, if I was in Ted Leonsis' ear as the owner, I would say this: we have had a tremendously bad season, and we've made 2 trades that may look okay in the short term, but are definitely going to have consequences down the road when we have to pay our own guys.
There's probably no franchises.
And your head coach not only is teaching these guys bad habits already, but now he just left them on the floor where somebody who's not a scorer scored 83 points. They're embarrassed, Jamie. I know they're not going to say it because they're men. And they have their pride and they're professionals. Sure. But that's embarrassing. It was embarrassing. You know what? Honestly, I've seen this before. You'll be at a party or something, and you'll see a couple of tall guys. You remember them from the NBA. If they play on the Washington Wizards or they play on the Sacramento Kings, they'll tell you I'm an athlete.
Right.
They won't tell you where they play, who they play for. When you're on a bad basketball team or a football, I've seen it, or a hockey team, you just say I'm an athlete.
That's true. It's funny.
And
Yeah,
that's what these guys saying to themselves.
My revenue sharing should be eliminated.
Yeah, I heard
It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful what the Wizards put on the floor.
Yeah.
And if I was a season ticket holder, I would not buy season. I would not renew my package.
There's a
I
whole
would
thing.
not.
Being traded
After a
to the
performance
Wizards is
like
gotta be
that.
one of the worst things that can happen to a player.
Michael, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I heard it said that they didn't play the Washington Wizards, they played the Washington Generals.
That's right. Right. Yeah, exactly. It was destined to happen. Anyway, I thought it was an abomination. I thought it was an abomination of sport. I thought it was an abomination of competition. I never want to hear Eric Spoelstra talk about the other team shooting too many free throws ever again.
Oh, and this will just go to prove that at some point in time when he does enter his prime, I have no doubt now that Wemby will eclipse Wilt's record at some point.
I think that's probably he's got the best shot. I'm also going to say this: the Heat are lucky they don't play LA until next year, but I don't think it's gonna be any less intense for Bam. I won't be surprised
in a few days.
I won't be surprised. No, but in Miami.
Oh,
it's in Miami. We're at the Heat, so they'll just maybe we'll shoot 100 free throws in that game just to make it even.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I was a little bit more impressed with Luka's 73 against the Hawks, and I was more impressed with Book putting up 70 in the Garden.
It was a real game. This is my only criteria for anything. If you can't watch the last 5 minutes of it, it probably wasn't worth doing. If you can't watch the last 5 minutes of the game, you did some amazing thing because the game has been completely warped and is unwatchable, which that game is unwatchable. Was it worth doing? What did you do? You just did it.
You should have been a whole bunch of foul calls for plays that aren't basketball plays.
No, it was literally watching the Harlem Globetrotters play the Washington Generals, except they didn't use a stepladder for God's sake.
Right, or the yo-yo ball. They didn't use the yo-yo ball.
I didn't see the yo-yo ball when I saw them there.
Whoop! Yeah, it comes right back. Anyway, all right, I gotta get going. I'm gonna wrangle my 8-year-old here.
Big game tonight, gotta win.
Big game tonight, gotta win.
By 12.
And then okay, let's real quick. Who's calling a win tonight? I'm calling a win.
I'm calling a win by 12.
Me too.
I'm calling a win.
All right, here we go. Let's go, people.
It's done. We don't even have to watch the game.
All right, come over here. You gotta.
It's a silly name.
Come over here. What did you say?
I'm calling the Nuggets a silly name.
What are you calling them?
A silly name.
Oh, what's the silly name you're gonna call them?
Nuggets.
That's their name. They're the Nuggets.
What?
What?
The Nuggets, the little chicken things that you.
Yeah. Do you want to call them the Denver Nuggies? The Nugget. We'll call them the Nuggies. All right. Let's hope the Lakers eat those Nuggies alive. Dip them in ketchup and crunch right down.
Rinse them, roast them, do all that stuff.
Yeah. Throw them in the blender. That's what JJ Redick would like to see. He'd like to see him in the blender. He likes to talk about the blender all the time. Anyway, this is Sydney.
Tiebreaker at stake tonight.
This is Sydney. I'm Jamie. That's Tom. That's Sean. That's Michael. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in this afternoon. Go Lakers. Be safe, whatever the weather's like, wherever you are. And we'll see you next time.
Aloha.
Aloha.
You there, Gerald?
Yes.
Hey, I thought at first because it was tripping me out because throughout the broadcast I hear Jamie Sweet join. I'd be like, what? Huh? And then you said that thing in the chat, and I was like, oh, it's been Gerald.
John was on earlier, and I didn't have a chance to fix it before you guys came on because I just came back into the house.
I noticed that when you switched the alignment, I didn't even look at that. So thank you for doing that. It looks better when it's the smaller picture.
No worries. He never tidies up the house before he leaves. So yes,
that's all right. And I don't look at the house, so
there you go.
All right, man. Well, good. That was a good show. It was nice having Sean on.
You guys seem to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, it's fun. It was good. I mean, everybody has more fun with this when the team's doing well. So and the team is doing well. So
yes, it is.
It's swinging. It's on an upswing. We'll put it that way.
We'll see how it looks tonight against Denver.
So. The next 3 games are great couple of tests. If we can come out of it 3-0, I'm liking the vibe. So anyway,
you and I both.
Man.
All
right. I hope you're doing well today, and I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend, my friend.
All right, adios.
All right.
All right, you. What should we do?
Yay! A subscriber!